Hey, Caitlin, just looking at your project. Your naming convention doesn't need this inside in it. Um, but let's take a look at the INDD file. You do have your links folder and your fonts, which is good. So if I push W on the screen here, so you have your front cover, back cover, that looks right. And then this is all one big spread, which I like how you treated this. Real life theater. It means that you understand how it's going to look when it's printed, which is great. I did go through your links. They all are in CMYK. The effective PPI is looking good on all of them. Hopefully you didn't. Hopefully they're actually that, good quality and not, something just changed in Photoshop. Because you can add DPI to an image, but it's not actually adding DPI. It just appears to be adding DPI, but I don't think that's what you did necessarily. I think you probably just shrunk the images down enough to where they worked. I'm a little bit so your view, the frame edges were showing when I first opened your document. So I had to go into view. I don't know if yours did or not, but extras. And I had to do hide frame edges. So I don't have to see those. And trying to see if your template is actually matching up to the document itself. I think it actually is. And if I go into your layers, I can actually bring this on top just to see where the folds are. And it does appear that you've got everything matching up pretty well with the fold line. At least on the front cover. Back cover is pretty good too. I don't know why when you went to fold it didn't work out for you when you printed. It's a little confusing as to why that would have happened. I'd have to look at your print again, I guess. It might have been that the way that the library printed it, potentially. So, yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Let me see here. Put this back down here. Lock it down. Okay, so I would say it might be beneficial to just... I know you made this in Photoshop. But you could have put the Montana Actors Theater on a gradient, and we could have just probably extended the gradient all over the whole document in InDesign so that there's not 3 separate gradients. Although there is a gradient here and then there's like solid background colors on these, which is fine. But it might look better with just a solid gradient that goes across the whole background. I would say, this is just a nitpicky thing. I do like this text wrap, but I would just move these in a little bit from the sides and stuff, just to give it a little breathing room around. And I would do the same thing on all of the spreads and center them well. So this one's like 3.2 whatever inches wide, this text box. So I can actually bring it over here and just make all of the text boxes in the whole document, that wide. And make sure they're centered in the actual panel that they're going to be in. And I would just do the same thing. I think I can just do a shift. Nope, I can't. And do the same thing with the insides too as well, and center them. And here, and center them. And this one's center aligned, and then this one's left aligned, I believe. So I think just pick an alignment and go with it throughout. This one's, center. So they're all a little different. I would say, yeah, just pick one and keep it consistent throughout the whole thing. I do see these are threaded. These ones aren't. So with this particular project too, I would say, this could have been laid out in InDesign as well. You could have cropped her out in Photoshop, brought her in, and then done your text wrap in InDesign, which actually I think you did. Actually, I'm not quite sure how you pulled that off. How you pulled this text wrap off. Oh, okay. Is she separate? No, you put a separate thing on top. Okay. So you could have made her a PSD file, like clipped her out the same way you did, made her a PSD file, and then did a file place in InDesign, and then done your text wrap. And then you could have just had these be, you know, boxes that are filled with the photo. And then you could have another box with the purple, and then a brief history on top. And I would have done the same, like I would have used the same box and just extended it across here, and used the same text here as you have here, just so that it has like a lot of consistency between the size. This one looks italic, this one doesn't. I mean, I think it's the same font, but it's not treated exactly the same, with the same background too. And I think that would just kind of help to dial it in and make it tighter. I would say, like, for this text down here, which is attached to the PDF, I believe, or maybe the PSD file that you made, I would make all of this text probably the body copy, but just bold. So this is, you know, you can make it bold and just make it all that right here. And the same with this one, and I might have maybe left aligning it would be good. Or maybe not, but just making it all the same, because there's just like too many sizes of text, too many different treatments of text. Even though it might be a lot of the same font face, it almost doesn't matter because there's so many different treatments of the font face that it looks like just too different. It looks good. I mean, this does look good, and I don't want you to think I don't think it looks good, but so yeah, I mean, and also just like if you're going to have this treatment here behind the text, you know, maybe carry that through the whole brochure. You have it down here, Real Live Theater. You have that same treatment to some degree. So doing the same thing with these texts, same sizes, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not sure what this says. I must be missing. Many positions to be filled. This could be added to like this text, and then MAT wants you could be here with the purple box behind it and all the same treatment of the text. I do like, you know, you do have your quote in here. These are all kind of aligned a little differently. This one's left aligned. This one's left aligned. This one's center aligned. So, you know, just picking an alignment on all of the body copy boxes would be good, and just sticking with those would be good. Yeah, and I mean, you could do a little box and then do a file place, put these pictures in there in InDesign, and then use the gradient feather tool to just feather out the ends of the boxes like you have here. But yeah, I think for the most part this looks really good. I think if more of it was constructed in InDesign, it would be easier to edit too, because every time you have to go and edit your file, you have to open up Photoshop, and then it's just not as streamlined as if you just laid all this out in InDesign. But yeah, other than that though, I mean, it looks good. I like the color scheme. I like the fonts you chose. Just a little bit more refinement. I think you do have your file set up correctly. You have your panels arranged correctly, so you've done well there. So yeah, great job. And you do have your links, you know, in CMYK. The effective PPI looks good on everything, so that's awesome. All right, great job. Talk to you later.